since I have a day off, I am making, you see me looking over there, it's because I'm about to embark on the journey of making a satin hair bonnet, but this is going to be embroidered, so you get to see the behind the scenes process. And to the person who ordered it, thank you so much for your order. Really excited to make it, and I just want to get the shipping label and all of the other things taken care of. So I will be toggling between us and I need to do a printed label, right? Yeah, that's it. And my embroidery machine, which has not been turned on. If you're curious, I am wearing the Rich Auntie by the Lip Bar. I'm doing something slightly different. I've had this for a while, but I have had several issues with it as far as it coming off. So I just applied it, and I want to see how long it will actually it takes to fully set. I typically wear Maybelline Super Stay Matte. This is my day to day, this is not a makeup video, but that's my day to day. But I've had this, and I was like, hey, I'm about to go live, and my hair was a mess. Of course, gotta do a little something, something, and try something different. So I actually have two. I have this color for the lip bar and this other one called Savage. I've used both. This tends to stay longer. This one, I'm not sure. It comes off on things, and I don't like when I'm wearing lipstick and I can see evidence of it on the products or on anything else I'm drinking or whatever. So if it stays, I'll be happy. And we'll see how that goes. So now let me tell you this, the picture you saw on this is the actual picture of what I will be making. I haven't started anything at all. I am just going to, first of all, go ahead and get a shipping label created. This was an order that came to me from my website, printedbonnet.com. Let's see. Can I add, can I do any writing here so that I can add the name? No, I cannot. No, just a Q&A. So I'm using my phone. I'm still trying to get comfortable with this app and also get more comfortable with what I am doing here for live videos, because I'm not usually used to going live, but we shall see. So let's get the shipping label done. And item is this. It's the queen bee. I'm not going to show you all of this because obviously it's someone's personal information by label. And I do have a print shipping label. I have a, what are these things called? A Rollo. I have a Rollo machine, which allows me to print my labels for my business. So that's what I'm going to use. I try to get that so that everything else will come through with me. So you're going to follow me as I go ahead and start the process and get my machine ready. So usually I wouldn't go, whatever, but this is the said machine, and I will flip the camera shortly. I figured nobody wants to see that until things are ready to go. Actually, let me flip the camera and show y'all the process. Okay, so hold on. All right, so this is the said machine. When you turn it on, it gives you that. Just basically, it's turning. I have a Brother SE 1900, as you can see here. They now have a newer one, which I believe is the SE 2000 or 22. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, thumb drive is in here. It's not a wireless machine. I think this was the last one before they started going to the wireless option. I typically would use this stand as opposed to this one here because I want to be able to use a bigger thread pool spools. Now this does take a while, so as you can see, it's loading. It's probably because I have a lot of files there that I use for my embroidery, my machine embroidery business, or so it's under custom work, and I typically would just toggle through. Actually, let's start from the end to see where it is. And hold on, is that no? It does take a little bit of time for me to. Oh, no, that's business cards, house bracelet, blah blah blah. Mhm. No, that's the queen and crown. All right, so I can't find it. That's the headrest. Let's see, 3D puff. I know it's one I've made before, so let's see if it's in here. No, that's well, that was a oh, that's the other thing that annoys me because when I make a mistake and hit this return button, it actually returns me to the main screen. I should have hit the up button, but because when you're using a computer, you kind of hit the return button. That's kind of my force of habit. It's my fault. Now we're gonna wait. Let me know if you have any questions. Hello, Kyle. Let me know if you have any questions about um, the bonnets. So these are other, wait, that says queen, but that's not the one I want. Is it? No, that's not it. I really need to do a better job organizing my files. So I think after today, I will do that because some of the stuff I can't find unless I go through all of, oh, I saw it right there. Yes, I know it's tiny, but this is it, queen bee. And it's 6 by 5 or whatever. So now I'm going to go back to my sewing machine. I know this is what I'm going to be making, so I've just selected it. It says yellow and black, which is actually going to be this shade yellow for the bumblebee and black thread. So let me go ahead and get my black thread ready. So like I said, I prefer to work with the larger spools, and the yellow is only 1 minute, and that's going to go first. So I don't need to have this. Actually, this is not black. This is gray. So let me get the black thread. Oh, where are you? There you are. All right, so this is the truly black thread, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it here because I know that that's going to be the next one to go. So flipping the camera back on me, and now I'm going to start the process of actually hooping my fabric, cutting and hooping my fabric. So this order is for, I taught a class yesterday, so things are still a little, I'm catching up on clearing up the stuff on my desk. So this order is for okay, it's for hot pink hair satin hair bonnet. So I do need to get all of that and get it situated. So just 1 second, let me get the satin. So, and I am also going to get I'm going to get the stabilizer. So it's because it's something that's going to be worn multiple times. I'm going to use cutaway, not tearaway stabilizer. I buy them in bulk. This is the heavier one. Hi, Alina. So I pre-cut them. It doesn't come pre-cut, but what I do is every time I have any spare time or I have a day off, I just go ahead and cut multiples. That way, when I'm ready, and then I use a band to hold it. It's actually literally just a 1/4 inch elastic band. That way, when it's time, I don't have to spend time actually cutting it. So I already know that this size will fit on my hoop. I do have a magnetic hoop. I don't always use that because sometimes it's easier to just go with the larger, with the other hoop. So you do need this for identifying the piece. I mean, identifying your center so that you can properly embroider it. You don't want to run into a situation where you go and start embroidering and then this is like the prettiest shade of pink. I love that. It's so beautiful and luxurious. Like it would be nice for like a chemise or something. Actually, now I think about it, I might make myself one. Haha. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, and it's getting stuck on my ring. the the threads. So let's go ahead and put this. Come on. In there. I usually will just. I have I'll roll it and go ahead and put it in here. So this is a starting process. I do teach classes if you want to learn how to make your own hair bonnet, or if you have an embroidery machine and want to start your business embroidering hair bonnets. This would be a great opportunity to learn to do that. So you know what? Because this is coming apart, like I just know, and it's not like the main fabric that's coming apart. It's just the ends because of the way it was cut. I'm gonna have threads all over me at the end of the day, which is fine. It's beautiful pink thread. Um, I have a pre-cut. Oh, I have never seen body composition scale, so I guess that's from the scale I bought. But it's a pre-cut shape that helps me when it comes to cutting my fabric. So let me turn it on. Oh, I guess the light does help, right? And so, like I said, if you want to take a class with me on how to make a satin hair bonnet, I'm more than happy to show you. You can register for a class with me on isewithjoy.com. Usually, a class like this would be multiple sessions, one for the cutting and the embroidery, because embroidery does take some time, and the second one would be for actually sewing. The second class would be shorter. So again, like I said, I've been doing this for multiple years now, so I actually already do have the appropriate size that I need for an embroidered hair bonnet. This is an adult hair bonnet. A reminder just came up, so I was looking at it, and I know just where to cut. Now, don't come for me. My rotary cutter needs to be adjusted. I mean, it needs to be replaced, the blade, that is. So I'm lazy sometimes. I haven't had a chance to do it. I've had a full plate. So when I have time, I will do it probably tomorrow now that I've set it, and I will make it added to my chore list because I always have reminders set up for myself. So I've cut the first one, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the second piece, and I'll show you what it looks like right after I cut it. So let me know if you have any questions. This here is an order that I received from my website, printedbonnet.com. Most of my embroidered hair bonnets go out within 48 hours receipt of the order. I say most, not all, most, because I do have a day job, and if I get home late, I can't really get to these until later. And part of what people don't understand, they want handmade, and handmade is beautiful, it's lovely, but it also takes a commitment, it takes time, and the machine to embroider it does take time. As you can see, I have a single needle embroidery machine. Okay, so I think I have this now measured properly. So I don't know if I've mentioned it here. I think I have. I do teach a class on school, and I am currently doing a one-on-one class with the loveliest little girl. She's really, really eager to learn, and we had a class last night. And let me just say, I love when younger kids learn to sew, because that's kind of how I started. I was much younger when I started to sew, not machine sew, but actually, hand sew, knit, crochet, and all of that, because I feel like they are building a skill set that will last them a lifetime. So for me, I can honestly say I've been sewing for almost 4 decades. Isn't that crazy? I can't believe I'm saying it in decades, but yeah, so it's been a while, and I still enjoy it. And I over the last few years, I've been doing a lot more. Last week, you might have seen my live video. I'm trying to be healthier, and that means working out and being healthier, because I'm also losing weight. Now, what that has done is that I now have to take in my garments. Now, most people will have to go to Zips or wherever to pay for that, but lucky me, I don't, because I can make my own adjustments. So, while you don't necessarily think about it, and I'll continue to talk, you don't necessarily think about it, but sewing is one of those skills that once you get it, it's like once you learn it, it's a return on that investment of learning it, and it's a lifetime investment that you continue to reap the benefits of over the years. So you can't go wrong with it. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and identify. Let me flip the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing, or I'll just switch. No, it's easier if I just flip the camera. So let's see. Okay. I have two camera stands, one a little bit further away, but so this is what I'm doing right now. This has been cut. I folded and refolded, so it's actually a quarter. And what I'll do is just kind of create this crease here so I know where the middle is. And the purpose for that will be more obvious shortly. I'm going to use my painter's chalk, it's not, or pen, marking pen, water soluble pencil, to mark an X. X marks the spot. And then don't forget, I have two pieces. So this is piece one and this is piece two. Piece one is the only one getting embroidered on. And now I'm going to go ahead and start the process of actually hooping my machine. Okay. So, and let me move this because I think it's a little bit in the way of what I'm doing. I'm going to switch the stands. I'll switch stands again shortly again. But I do need the workspace, which is why I have to move it. There we go. Okay. All right. So it's easier if I'm able to do this without having to worry about being in the frame. Ask questions. I'm not going to see them right away, but I will see them once I get back to the camera. And like I said, X marks the spot, and this is what I'm going to do. So first of all, make sure your stabilizer fully covers the first piece, the first area of your hoop. The hoop actually does have a little triangle there that tells you where the top and the bottom are, and you want to make sure it lines with the other little triangle. So I'll take that, and yes, I know I should remove the plastic piece, but it's my thing, okay? So leave it. And I'm going to take it and put it here. So this is why I had the X, because the X, the center will line up with where I had my X. So I'm just going to take this and put it on here and see where my X is. Actually, I did pretty good this time. Almost exactly to the spot. It's not exactly to the spot. So I'm just going to loosen the hoop a little bit, which will give me the option to move the fabric a little bit. And you're not going to be able to see this fully just because of how small and how much it blends in. So, but it is right on my X, and I'm going to now go ahead and retighten my hoop. The machine actually comes with a little screwdriver that you can use. Yeah, I have it here, but I don't use it because if you don't want it too tight, you just want it taut. So once that's done, I'm going to take this off and kind of just make sure that it's taut, fully taut. Okay, as in everything, you know, feels tight and there are no issues or wrinkles, whatever. I will also again go back to make sure we're still on the X, which we are. So it's right there. And now this is ready to go onto my machine. So that's my X. You can see it a little easier there. Hello, hi, education B7 something. So, all right. So now this is hooped. This is what it looks like on the front, and this is what it looks like on the back. Making sure that my stabilizer is fully covered, because this is a semi-large design, and I want to make sure that I can capture everything for this. So now you're going to come along with me to my embroidery machine. Like I said, I was going to change the. So this is the little stand I'm using to move this around, and I'm going to flip this to myself now so you can see me again. Here I am. And y'all are just gonna follow me. to back to the machine. So I'm going to go ahead now and flip this back so you can see exactly how I hoop the machine and get things ready. Because the thread I have already, let me just switch that over. The thread I have already, this gold thread, is the first one. It was already there from my previous job. I don't really need to re-thread my machine. So now all I'm going to do is go ahead and put this. My foot is already up using the lever, and I'm going to slide this on here, start to open up things, and then I am going to go ahead. Now, mind you, this is just step number one. So when people say, oh, bonnets should be cheaper, this is literally just step number one. I am basically just starting the process for embroidering this. After it gets embroidered, then it will get sewn. So first cut, it's taking us what, almost 20 minutes just to get this cut and prepped. And then the next few times are going to be spent. The next few moments will be spent. As you can see here, it's going to take 36 minutes to fully finish this entire job. So 1 and 34, and I don't know why it says 36, but maybe it just means it's a little over 30. But this is why when people sell embroidered hair bonnets, it's not necessarily the $3 or $5 bonnets you will see, and these bonnets will last a very long time. So I have a video when people are like, oh, well, but the elastic, I get it. Elastic was never meant to last forever, but I do have a video that will show you how to do the elastic or replace the elastic on a bonnet. So this is an investment, yes, but it's an investment that is sure to pay and you don't have to keep doing another one. Let me see if I can get a better light. And I actually charged my mini ring light yesterday, although it does tend to die quite a bit on me. But let's see if this does a better job today. No, it doesn't really. It doesn't. It's a mini ring light, so but yeah, I feel like that light doesn't work because it dies every 5 seconds. But in any case, so this is now ready. That's still there. Once I put this down, it means it's ready to go. The first job will probably take 1 minute, which isn't a very long time. But I will go ahead and start this with you and then go back to my computer and wait and see if y'all have any questions. So first, you will also notice that right there, let me zoom in a little bit, my needle, this is why you also need to mark your X, should be there, which tells me that when this design gets embroidered, see, it's right there in the middle. When it gets embroidered, it will do so in the middle of the fabric. Remember, it's a bonnet, which means it's round, a hair bonnet rather. And that also means that I want to make sure that it starts in the right place. So don't worry so much about this. I will show you because while that's the middle and we're identifying the middle there just for comparison, we're actually starting with the yellow, which is there, and the yellow is over there. So watch the machine move as I go. Okay, so I'm just going to hit this. See, it moves. So that's where the yellow is actually going to go. And I did use clips to hold these back. These are sewing clips, but I use it to hold it back so that it's not in my way. And the yellow piece should be done shortly. So that's kind of what it looks like. It's doing everything. And once that's done, I will go ahead and then start the black, which is the one that's going to take the longest amount of time. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so back to me. Hello. All right, so, and I think, oh, it's literally done. There we go. So the yellow piece is done. So now I'm going to go ahead and re-thread my machine, but this time with the black thread. So I'm just going to make sure it did cut it. Okay, and then put the lever up. When I always tell people when unthreading a machine, make sure you actually are not, oh, it didn't fully cut it, so I will help it. Make sure that you're not just pulling it. If you pull it, it's coming from the bottom, not from the top, because you don't want to do that in reverse. You're going to mess up the or create more lint within your machine, which then creates a problem over time. So I am putting the mesh back on this spool. You know, it's funny. I was approached by a company and they wanted to send me some threads, and I did ask for the larger threads, and they said, oh no, well, you have a single needle machine, why don't you go with just the smaller threads? And I said okay. And it wasn't until later I realized, wait, hold up, I do have a stand that I primarily use for embroidery, so it probably would have been better if I went with the larger threads, but I'm not sharing that information here because I did not get the so I'm having issues with this thing. It's an automatic threader. Anyways, I didn't get the thread from TikTok, from YouTube. I got it from TikTok, and I did fulfill my obligation. So I don't feel the need to do the hair, but if they want to work with me on other things, happy to do that. All right, so that's ready to go, and my thread is there, and the next one is going to take 34 minutes, as you can see there. So let's go ahead and get that started. And I think it's going to first do the B. Yep, it's doing the B first. Okay, you know what? I do want to stop this because I'm seeing a little bit of white thread coming through. So I am going to take this out. And again, this is part of what I mean when I say, you know, the embroidery takes time, it takes skills, and it's not something that he could just say, hey, I'm going to charge $2 or whatever, or $5 for. So I'm going to switch this because I typically use white thread since you can't really see it on the inside, but instead of that, I'm going to switch to a black thread. That way, regardless of the tension is fine. I just don't know it's having a temperamental day. And I will also switch out the needle. I think I have used this needle multiple times. So, well, where are you? I have my pack here, and I use primarily the 80 by 12. It's a slightly heavier needle. Actually, let me see. It's a slightly heavier needle, but it's recommended. So, or it's when I say heavy, I mean it's used more for slightly heavier fabrics, because this is kind of double fabric, double, as in it is both a stable. It has both a stabilizer and the fabric, so it's a little thicker. I am fine with using this. Otherwise, you can also use, this is 80 by 12, if you're wondering, 75 by 11. Here's a little trick. So I have everything here. I built this stand. I do have a video. I built this stand, and it holds just about everything I need here. This was stored underneath there with the needles and everything. I have my scissors and everything here, and I keep this medicine bottle. It's full of needles, broken needles. So the reason I do that is because I want to make sure that I don't get needles on my floor. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and take this, which is what came with the machine, put this down, and take this needle out. Whenever you start to see that the tension on your embroidery machine is not going so well, you want to make sure you know, it's might be poking, it might be a needle problem. Just take it and replace it. So in my little needle thing it goes. This is for safety reasons. I have one here for my embroidery machine. I have another one for my sewing machine. I don't play with things like this, especially since I have little ones. You have to be extra careful. While sewing is supposed to be relaxing, the last thing you need is to be worried about whether or not you got that last piece of needle that fell on the floor, and now your child, kids who are notorious for finding things will be the one to find it and get hurt. So yeah, I'm always very careful. I count the number of pins I have on my projects to make sure that if I started with 11 pins, I am ending with 11 pins. Okay, there will be no oops, whatever in any of my projects. So there we go. You can watch me do this. So just a reminder, flat end to the back. It faces the back because it needs to sit flat against your machine. I usually use this just to push it all the way up as far as it will go. And this is how easy it is. Obviously, I say it's easy because I've done this quite a few times. I know it's not necessarily easy for everybody. So since I took that out, I am going to have my machine rethread again. Move the thread out of the way, put that up, and bring back my project and continue from where it left off. Remember, I also switched out the bobbin thread from white to black, so it does have that. I will make sure that none of the fabric is showing or is stuck underneath, because the last thing you need is that it has both everything, or it sews between two pieces together. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. For some reason, I have to keep adjusting this. I'm going to take a look at that later on after this video. So now what I do whenever I stop a project is I go back 10 inches, 10 stitches. You have the option of going back 1, 10, 100, and whatever. I always go back 10, just so that it will catch whatever I may have missed, and I don't have any jump stitches. So now that that's set to go, I am just going to go ahead and let it go back and do its thing. So it is going to stitch things out. And that's what the bee is looking like. This project will take 34 minutes. I promise you, I'm not going to have this just sitting there looking over the 34 minutes of stitch time. I just wanted you to see how it looks, and we'll go sit at my desk and do questions and answers. So let's flip this over and go through any questions and answers you might have about sewing. I'm going to turn off my ring light here. I love that. So there we go. It's turned off. I'm not going to use the other one because it does not work back at my desk. Let's see. It doesn't even, like, sometimes they say buy these things and then you're like, I don't even see the difference here. Is it supposed to be something I see or something I notice? I don't see I don't notice a difference. Okay. And not for this. The other one, oh, I forgot to get my label. The other one turned out great, but right now this one isn't showing me anything that I want to see. So who knows, right? Okay, so maybe this works this time. I give it a little more time. The lip bar, which is what I was talking about for those who are asking. This is Rich Auntie trying on a new, it's not new. I've had this lipstick in my office for a while, but I noticed that it comes off on things, so I don't really use it. So I was just drinking some tea. I don't, switching from coffee to tea halfway through the morning. And it didn't come off, so that's good. I have a piece of paper towel. I keep these because when I put on my lipstick, I just wipe my fingers. So let's see if it works, okay? All right, like, I don't know, because I never get this when I use the Maybelline Color Stay. So what am I doing wrong? And I know it's little and it's not supposed to make a difference, but I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this on my yeah, see, like, and I've had this now on for solid 30 minutes. It should have set by now. I don't want to see that on on my tissue. So I'll put that in the trash. It's not, I feel like if you have a lipstick that's supposed to stay, it should stay. It should not be one that comes apart or I mean comes off on anything. So it while it didn't come off on my cup, it shouldn't come off on anything. So if anyone has a trick on how they make the lipstick last longer, I'd appreciate it. I want to know. It could be user error, could just be me, but I don't think so because, like I said, my everyday lipstick is the Maybelline Color Stay, and I literally just ordered more. Never had a problem with this, not once. I put it on, it sets in 20 minutes, and it stays. This is matte ink. I'm still listening for my I'm still listening for my husband's shutting my office door. I'm listening for the machine. So whenever the sound changes, I tend to look over it to make sure that it's not there's nothing going on there. So I don't know. I use this and it does not come off. The other one I also use, and I have these in my office because I use them when I'm about to go on camera or before I go to work. The other one I use is also Maybelline. It's the vinyl lip something. This one I don't use often because you have to activate it. Like you hear that sound? I'm gonna put it next to the microphone. You actually have to activate it to be able to use it, which to me, I'm just like, lipstick should be on one and done, put it on and you'd be able to walk away. So, but yeah, I do apply lipstick, and let me tell you my little secret. I do that because I don't wear a lot of makeup. So most people, it's kind of like a mental thing. Like people will say and think, you know, I'm a makeup person, and I'm not really. The only thing I really do apply is the lipstick. I do take care of my skin. I have a skincare routine, but I don't wear foundation. I'll use a loose powder, and that's the extent of my makeup. Nothing else. So it's just I never actually truly learned to do my makeup, so I'm not the person to go for makeup advice. But the lipstick one is my thing, and I don't like that. I have a lipstick here that I spent some good money on because the lip bar is more expensive than the Maybelline Color Stay, and it's not staying. Listen, lip bar folks, take care of that, please. Okay. All right. All right. And I'm just gonna go over some questions relating to embroidery that I've received from people over the years or months or whatever. People will ask individual questions or different questions. So the B is done. And I think now it's going to start the process for writing. One question is, how do I get the design? That particular design was one I purchased off of Etsy. So it wasn't one that I created myself. And when you purchase off of Etsy, it allows you to download it. You'll download it onto your machine or to your Chromebook, tablets, whatever, and put it onto a thumb drive. So because my machine is not wireless, I do need a thumb drive to go with it. The other question I get is, how do you manage like your files and whatever? If you were here earlier, you saw that I had a hard time figuring out how to do the files, figuring out where the file was located because I haven't done a good job storing them. So that's going to be my next project to do them. Adjusting embroidery, I have Embroidering Essentials, the first level. So if you go to embroiderings.com, they give you like they have what I would call a beta version. Not really a beta version, like it's workable, right? Like you can use it to add names, like custom names and things like that to your embroidery work. Now, if you want to be able to adjust stitches, change color of designs, create your own designs in some instances, then you do need the next level up, which for me, I think it's Embroiderings Essentials. But if that's the one, then I use it for a lot of things. I've been using that for years. I don't feel like you need anything above unless you plan on being someone who does embroidery designs, as in that is your main thing. If you're doing this to embroider on your products, on bags, on clothing items, you do not need to buy the next level up. So the first level, the basic one I have was $139, and they often run sales. I think it might be listed as $159, but if you go on their Facebook page, that's embroiderings.com, they will give you a 10% discount. So, and I am not a spokesperson or an affiliate or this is not a sponsored ad. I'm just telling you what I use. So that's kind of where I get that stuff from. Now I will get adjust my designs as I go. So I do use my Embroidering to adjust the design. Sometimes I adjust it to make it larger. You have to be careful with larger because if it's a design that's really locked in, some designers will lock it in. So when you make it larger, you end up with spaces or gaps between your stitches. Not always a great thing. So you want to make sure that when you're doing that, you're doing it the right way and you don't end up with design that kind of looks a little wonky. So while making adjustments to the sizes are good, you want to be careful how much of an adjustment you make. With embrillions, you can also adjust your stitch, your color. You can do what's called a color sort. So I have a single needle machine, and sometimes I'll have something that my max usually for colors is like 4. Sometimes I'll go with 5 colors per design. As you can see, it takes 35 or 36 minutes just to stitch out one hair bonnet. I am not trying to do multiple color stitches, color changes rather. I want to do one and done, or at most 3, 4 and done. So if you want to do a color sort, as in everything that's black will stitch out first, and then everything that's yellow will stitch out next, and and so on and so forth. You do need. Let me take this off because it's kind of irritating me because it doesn't work. You do need. I'm just listening for my embroidery machine. You don't. Embroidery work is not one and done, so I heard a slightly different sound, and I wanted to make sure it's just hidden up against the edge of the hoop. You do, if you want to do a color sort, you do need the essentials because that helps you do that. So that's an added benefit of having essentials. In addition to that, the Embrilliance will give you some free designs to try out. So if you're thinking, hey, I'm not so sure, check out Embrilliance. Another site that I've also been successful getting some free embroidery work that you can use for practice or different things if you want to learn to embroider is Designs by Juju, DESIGNBY by Juju, JUJU. Another one is Embry Library. Another one is Stitchtopia. They offer free designs. I do encourage you to get at least 1 or 2 paid embroidery designs because that's how they're able to offer more free stuff, right? But for the ones that I use on my hair bonnets, it's either one I designed myself, one I commissioned to have designed, or a design I purchased myself off of Etsy, which gives me the rights to put it on a hair bonnet. You can do custom hair bonnets, satin bonnets, by making sure that when you, like with the Embrilliant software, by deciding whatever you font to whatever you want to use and then having it on there. So there's so many options for doing a satin hair bonnet. And like I said, I do offer classes. So if you're interested, check out isewithjoy.com. I will walk you through the entire process from start to finish. I'm probably going to do it will be a 2-class step where in the first class we go over the embroidery work. We'll choose an embroidery design. Usually it'll have to be simple, otherwise we'll spend the entire class sitting there and babysitting the embroidery machine. And then the next one, it would probably be actually doing the embroidery work. Putting the hair bonnet together. You'll get all the things you need as far as information, the pattern, the size, the elastic, and all of that. And again, I say, it's an investment. I know that it's not, my bonnets are not the $10 bonnets you'll see at a beauty supply store, but they will last longer. My bonnets, the ones I make go in the wash and they keep, okay? The elastic, no elastic is made to last forever. Think about it. Even your elastic waisted underwear, it eventually comes apart, right? So nothing is made to last forever. But I do have a video on YouTube right here where you can actually go and see how to replace it yourself. Even if you're someone who doesn't necessarily know how to sew, you have the option to use like a glue gun or something to hold the elastic together as you put things together. If you know how to hand sew, it's even better because you can just do it and replace it yourself. So hopefully those are videos that are helpful. You can just do replace elastic on my site, on my YouTube site, and it'll bring up the video where I shared how to do that. Also shared how to measure around your head to determine what size of hair bonnet or shower cap you want. So this is it. I will take you back to the embroidery machine. We could take a look at it one last time. And then when I post this video, I will post it with the finished product. So thank you for joining me. I hope that you've learned something new about how to do a satin embroidery and I'm playing with a fidget spinner that my baby got me for Valentine's Day. This is literally the cutest thing. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Let's go to the machine. Go back to the machine. I'm gonna walk with you. Walk with me. And yes, I did do the So Easy. That's with my embroidery threads there. I did do that. I put that together myself. So yeah. So let me show you now. I'm going to flip this. And that's what it's looking like. It looks perfect. It looks like that. I'm going to babysit this until the work is done. So again, thanks for joining me. My name is Joy. If you have questions, check out my website, isewithjoy.com, if you want to learn to sew, or if you want to order your own bonnet by yourself, you can go to my page at franklinbonnet.com. Have a wonderful day. Bye.